Dobar dan I dobrodošli. Sit down and relax as we are about to read some webtoons and manga. I recommend purchasing the official scans or translations and reading along with those open as well, for a better reading experience and to support the creators behind the works that I react to in my streams. Links are in the description. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Patreon, so subscribe to or follow SomeEuropeanChick if you want to read along and suggest what to read next. Now without further ado, let's read.
Goodnight Pumpun. It's been a while. I know where we left off. We had the entire Uncle Yuichi arc. Like his pedophilic past. We had that. And now we're back to the present. And if we remember what happened to Pumpun, it is, oh no, the internet connection. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, now it should be stable. Hopefully. Pumpun confronted Aiko's boyfriend. He didn't confront him, but they announced to each other that they would be, like, each of them would fight for Aiko's hand in marriage or whatever. Why is my... Okay. So many technical difficulties. The fuck is going on? Here we go. But at least the stream should be alright. The mic is on. The mic is on. It's running in YouTube and it should be running in Twitch. I think we are okay. Could it be we're okay? Huh. I really hope so. Anyway, let's get into the comic. Oh yeah, and when he told the cute waitress about his past to kind of shoo her off, she was like, yeah, but I still like you, you know, the way you are now. Like, yeah, you might have had a troubling past, but I like you how you are now. Insane, but yeah. Choose that. The notification finally worked. Hello, salut. Hi. I'm glad it worked. And, welcome. Okay, chapter 39. Honestly, I was scared. Come closer. Honestly, I was scared. I felt like I was going to discover something terrible, something I'd rather not know. Bitch! What you discovered wasn't terrible? I went crazy in that stream. I was seeing stars. I was getting whooshy. And you're fine with that? You're like, that's not even bad. What? Have you done worse? I'm gonna go insane. The fuck is wrong with this chick? What's wrong with her? That was the worst thing she could have gotten to know about him. Like, I didn't know what was going on with him either. I thought, oh, he's probably just feeling guilty about something only he could feel guilty about because he's such a good person. But no. No. He did something that everyone should be hating themselves for, and the self-hatred was warranted, yes. And she was like, it wasn't even that bad. Why does he feel so guilty? He could totally date me. Why is that past stopping him from fucking me? That's totally fine. I'd be fine with that. What the hell, girl? Spoilers? Not that there is an issue. Let's read. Let's see what's wrong with this girl. Why is everyone sick in this comic? Why is everyone sick? Well, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a long time. Wait, she actually brought him back to the pottery school to get him back to where he was? Or why is she so concerned with him? Why is this... They're so annoying. Well, I'm so glad to see you. It's been a long time. I was actually pretty worried about you, Yuichi. It was so chaotic back then, I didn't even ask you why you were quitting. I never thought you'd turn up again with such a cute girlfriend. It's great to see you looking so well. Well, yes. Actually, Wasio comes to visit from time- who's that again? Comes to visit from time to time. He's really turned his life around. He won't talk about what happened, but he's smiling more than he used to. Wasio is the guy that got manipulated by the girl and then whacked her mom. Okay. What about Mrs. Yagi? Yeah, we were in mediation for a long time over that. Her injuries weren't serious, but if she had sued, we wouldn't be around anymore. So she didn't sue. Okay. But I heard Mrs. Yagi's daughter made her stop. Huh? You remember Mrs. Yagi started bringing her right before it happened. The pale girl with the short hair. I don't know why she defended us. Oh yeah, some of the students mentioned that she's studying pottery at an art college in Kyoto now. So her life wasn't even that in shambles. That's why everything can be forgiven. Okay. So she's still, like, he had an impact on her life. God damn. He made such a big impact on her. But the way he treated her, Yuichi, I mean, the way he treated the girl, I don't know, man. I would never do pottery again. The hell? Oh, he's crying. Do you feel less guilty now? I hope you fucking don't. What's wrong? Nothing. Oh, this is a nice cup. Aha, I see you haven't lost your touch. They're small and rough, but they have a certain style, don't you think? They're Washio's comeback after 5 long years, so all of them... It took all of them the same amount of time to get over it. It was for all of them 5 years. What a coincidence. Okay. No, they're leaving. So, sorry for barging in on you. No, come anytime. And if you want to get back into pottery, I'd love to work with you again. It's a little sickening that she did that for him so he can feel less stressed about his past, so he can move on and be with her now. It's... You'd think, oh, that's a good deed, but all of them are so selfish, so egotistical, and so backward. It's insane. Actually insane. But look at the art, man. Look at the art. That was good, right? See? She just wants him to feel less bad about his past so he can move on to her now. It's... fuck me. What's wrong with you, bitch? What's wrong with you? Yeah, it was good. It was really good. I wonder, was it just being overly anxious? No. I think the self-hatred was warranted, and it's good that you stopped masturbating, because you traumatized yourself by being so traumatizing to others. Yeah. No, I don't think that's it. Even if I was just obsessing over it all this time, it doesn't make what I did go away, and it doesn't change my basic nature. Maybe I'll do it again someday. You don't look so good. It's gotten really cold out. Want to come back to the cafe so you don't get sick? Since I'm in Ofuna anyway, maybe I'll stop by my folks. Oh, I left my scooter at the cafe. I'll pick it up later. Midori, you have a runny nose. Hehe. Haha. I'm sorry that I pushed you so hard today. Not at all. Thank you for listening to me. Somehow I feel a little better now. That was a complete lie. Thank God. Thank God. The burden I'd been carrying for 5 years was definitely guilt over the mistakes of my past, yeah. But now that I can see a glimmer of light, somehow the weight is heavier and more painful than ever. I'd imagine so, yeah, I'd be the same. I'd feel guilty for moving on, you know? I'd feel guilty for even hoping for something better for myself because I hate myself so much for what I did in the past. My spine froze because I realized that my guilt may have been the one thing keeping me alive. Oh no, why is he on the train tracks? So he only didn't kill himself before that because he wanted to punish himself. Because, you know, he doesn't believe in God and any type of religion. To him, there is no hell after death. So there is no punishment awaiting him. He has to be the responsible one and take care of his own punishment. I like that. I like that. You know, as much as he's fucked up, I like the way he's thinking about how he's fucked up. Like, that's a good sign. The way he's thinking about all of this, about himself, about his past, and how to deal with it, I can get behind all of that. I support him with that. I mean, I'm not supporting him being suicidal. I'm just saying I'd probably feel the same and act the same if I did something so horrendous and so fucked up. Unable to move a muscle because of terrifying guilt, all alone, writhing in agony from the crippling guilt. What if the very act of searching for the meaning of life is my reason for living? Bong, bong. If that's true, then I have nothing left. My penance is complete. The only thing left is terror of a meaningless life and an empty future. I mean, you can still force yourself to feel guilty. And see the empty life that comes after that as part of the punishment too. Why not? Why do you think, oh, now 5 years is enough for what I did? Now I can stop. No, go beyond that. Why limit yourself to only 5 years? Just live an empty life for the rest of your remaining on Earth. Is guilt the only god I've followed? Why is that? Why did it show the most random people as gods? I love it. I love it. But I also love how God is defined in the series. It's the purpose you follow in life. That type of God. It's not like a paternal figure in the sky looking over you, making sure you're fine, that you're not alone, you know. A god is just something that you put your entire reason for being behind. I love that definition more. I love that. Guilt is his god, and now he doesn't have that anymore. I love that. I really thought the series got dropped. Hope you read it till the end. If I don't announce that I drop a series in a stream and or in a community post on my YouTube channel, I haven't dropped it. Don't assume anything without my saying so. Don't worry. I am continuing the series, and I'm gonna see it through. I'm gonna read all of it because I like it. I genuinely like it. So cold, so agonizing, so lonely, so terrifying. I can't do it anymore. You idiot! She's a good person. She's a good person. Ah, okay. Oh! He's clinging to her. So he doesn't actually want to do it. She's there. She gave him hope. She gave him a new reason to continue living. At his lowest point, she appeared. When he thought it was over, she restarted something. Okay. I couldn't do it. At the last minute, I couldn't do it. Oh. Oh. Help. Help me. Help me. Why are you so much trouble, Yuichi? Who was it? What were these YouTubers called? The two Christian girls who are like, types of guys you shouldn't date. And one of them was Mr. Baggage or Mr. Trouble. I think it was Mr. Baggage. So this is proof that women will take you no matter how much of a wreck you are. Not all women. You gotta find the right one. I don't know if I would. Now, I probably would if I loved the person, of course. I would. But you first gotta love the person, and then... Like, I hope you don't love a person because they're a wreck. That'd be kinda messed up. But anyway, love can repair things. Create new things. And, it's cute how she's still there for him. She still loves him. Even though she doesn't really know him. I mean, she knows him now, thanks to their intimate talk, but before that, she fell in love with him. Well, love is a mysterious thing. You never know where it's gonna appear and why. So, I hope Yuichi takes this as a sign that he can heal. He can still feel guilty and hate himself for what he did in the past. He can still do that and keep living and creating new things and having a positive impact on other people from now on. He already has a positive impact on his nephew. That's a good thing. He could try pinning his reason to exist on other people like this. For example, his nephew. Like, I want to keep living even after I'm done with my repentance. I will now keep living to see through it that my nephew is not going to turn out like me. That's a good reason to keep living. And you're doing a good thing. Even if you're doing it still as a form of atonement for what you were in the past. And to make sure that you're not like that anymore. And that's a good thing. He could do that. And at the same time, he can create a new relationship and become a better person now, because he was a pretty shitty person to his girlfriend and to the girl who fell in love with him. So now he can try to give back for once. I'll do whatever you want, Yuichi. It's okay. Oh, oops. It's okay. I'll do whatever you want, Yuichi. Just don't ever leave me again. But what if I make another terrible mistake that can't be fixed, and I hurt you? If that happens, I want you to kill me. Okay, yeah, she has issues. Okay, yeah, she has issues too. All right, everyone has issues here, so it's not really opposites attracting one another. It's still kindred spirits just sensing each other out. They having, instead of a gaydar, they have a radar for people with issues. So they band together, and I hope they don't make each other's lives worse. To kill me. Don't worry, if that happens, I will definitely kill you. Oh, okay, no. He's saying that. I'm sorry. I thought she said that. It's Yuichi saying that. If that happens again, that he makes a terrible mistake, he wants her to kill him. Okay. She's like, don't worry, if that happens, I will definitely kill you. So don't run away again. Okay, good. Maybe she doesn't have that many issues. It's snowing. It looks so pretty. It looks so real. Midori, I love you. Aw. Yeah. Aw. So that was his character arc. It's done now. Everything's fine now. Happy ending. Good. Now let's move on. Oh no. Badminton tournament. And now the Aiko's boyfriend, he said that if he can't win it, he's gonna give up on both badminton and Aiko. But if he wins, he's gonna take Aiko and keep her forever. And he's gonna marry her and make sure she's happy. Was his name Yaguchi? Yaguchi? I think he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. So young, but so full of heart already. I'm rooting for him. Even though, you know, I feel bad for Punpun, and Aiko probably still loves Punpun, but Yaguchi's a good guy. And I feel really bad for his struggles, you know. Everyone's just talking about him behind his back and making him out to be a person that he's not, like a macho guy, so great, so admirable. But he himself, he struggles. But he never takes it out on anyone. I love that about him. Such a good boy. So well raised. Love that. Did you see Komatsu's match this morning? Oh yeah, and Komatsu is a friend, Punpun's friend, who's a badminton genius and is competing too. It was wicked, seriously, no one can beat him. His opponent started crying in the second set. I've never seen a match like that. Yaguchi is the only other one left from our school. Who's he up against next? Oh, it's Mushano Koji, who just transferred to Nishi Middle School. I hear he made the Ibaraki Prefecture team in his first year at his last school. Ahaha. Ahaha. Yeah. Thought I didn't read that correctly. I was seeing double. But if by some miracle he wins, he'll face Komatsu in the final. Poor Yaguchi, he's done for. Vahahaha. Punpun, you're so mean. You're so mean. He's such a bad dude. He's so bad. I mean, I understand, he's still a child. And they're, you know, fighting over the same girl. Hi, Kasapian. But see, Pochita is here. And yeah, it's depressing shit. Yeah. Yeah, the hairband, yeah, just for now. I think it suits what I'm wearing today. Yeah, ha ha ha, wap wap. What? No need to worry, damn it. Punpun's heart was a dark lord of calm and coolness. Let's go. He's so bad. Such a bad child. But I hope it's just a phase and he grows out of it. You know, children are really fucking mean. They really are mean, so I did some mean stuff too when I was a child. I'm hoping that I grew out of it and that I'm a better person now. I look back on it and I'm like, you were such a trashy child. No one sees it, like when I talk to my friends or family about it, saying I was an angel, but I see some things. There are two events that I really regret, really. I already told you about it in the Q&A stream, but I'm gonna say it here now. I think I was 7 or so when we were at a beach or something. And there was a woman, and I said to my cousin, she's ugly, look at her. And the woman, of course, understood. And you could see how hurt she was. That hurt me. And then when I was 13, 14, I also said such a comment about my cousin's friend to my cousin. And the friend heard it and understood, of course. And that hurt her too. That was so mean. So I regret doing that. I was a really mean child. Really mean. Yeah, never doing that again. Never talking badly about someone who... Why would I even say that? Why does someone's appearance concern me? Like, also no one is ugly. Like, actually no one is ugly. Like, now... I can find at least one trait that is super beautiful in every person, be it their hands, their earlobes, or whatever. So no one is ugly. Like, there's just, let's say, average people or, like, above average people, in my opinion. Ugly is just something that I think you, emanate from what's inside of you. That type of thing. So at least I changed in that regard. Maybe I had to be a piece of shit to change that way, but I still regret it. Those people didn't deserve to hear such mean words. So yeah, anyway. So I'm hoping that Punpun is just going through that mean phase now. I mean, he's 12, 13. He still has time to grow out of it and be a better person. Ugliest personality for me. Yeah, same. Yeah. Absolutely. And actually there is, like it's proven by psychology that the way you see someone can alter the way they appear to you, you know, physical appearance-wise. If you like someone because of their personality, they're gonna be so much more attractive to you. And if you don't like their personality, they're gonna be less attractive to you. And this is also another thing. There is no ugly people, there's just people you're attracted to and people you're not attracted to, in my opinion. And for example, I'm not attracted to anyone. That doesn't mean they're ugly. Like, I can see how they're beautiful to other people or handsome or cute or whatever. And sometimes when I say someone is cute or handsome or whatever, it doesn't mean I'm attracted to them. So there's this type of thing where you can see how others see them, but you're not necessarily like, I want to kiss that or I want to procreate with that or whatever. So yeah, it's really also about your, it sounds bad, but aura. Like sometimes you can just read people, be it with the body language or the words they choose or what they say in what way. You can already be attracted to that or not and think that is harmless or not. So yeah, I think ugliness is definitely something that comes from inside and alters the way you see people. Like if I'm seeing someone who's like average to me, like I wouldn't notice them, but then I realize how ugly they are inside, I'm gonna I'm gonna find them ugly. Not because they're ugly appearance-wise. Like, I just wasn't attracted to them. They're just not attractive to me. But they're gonna be ugly because I say what's inside seeps through the pores. And I hate that. So they're ugly to me. Okay, let's continue reading. I don't know where I went with this tangent. Sorry about that. Let's go. Oh, but I can't say about drawings like this is ugly. It looks like a fish, not like a human. Like, maybe humans like that exist, I'm sorry, but there's just certain evolutionary biology dictates that we find certain phases attractive and certain phases not attractive because of, proportions. They tell you something about the genes, like how strong, resilient, and good the genes are. It's not just about when it comes to evolution, it's not about the strongest one, like the strongest trait is gonna survive and then be passed down. It's also about, there's an aesthetic aspect to evolution too. Why do you think humans shed their hair, their body hair, their fur, and then had to produce clothing to put on them? Like, it doesn't make sense evolutionary wise. Why would we shed something that we need? So we then use other animals or fabrics to cover ourselves? Like, that wouldn't be necessary if we just kept our fur. But the thing is that at some point, females just found less hair attractive, so it became less and less. And just in certain parts, hair was fine. So we still have hair here and here. Like, why here? Why is that necessary? If for the rest of the body we're fucking naked. Why? It's because of aesthetic things. So some things, they don't really make sense to us. But yeah, we like proportions and symmetry and whatever, and I don't have that with that face. So it's just, when you find something ugly or pretty, like from your own subjective view, not saying that in general, like that's an objective thing, but there is an objective element to it, as I said, with symmetry, proportions, and some biological things. I don't know how I started the sentence and how I want to end it. I'm stupid. I'm sorry. I mean, the mangaka meant to draw it out. Yeah, he meant to draw it ugly, but I'm just saying, because I said before that they're just average people and non-average. There may be some who are just they got the shorter end of the stick when it comes to biology. And it's not their fault, and it's not our fault for not finding them attractive to mate with. It's a mechanism in us speaking. So that's it is being judgmental, but it's no one's fault. Right after I had that monologue that no one's ugly, I say, "Oh, this is ugly." This face here. Anyway. It turns out the singles final is between Yaguchi and Komatsu, both students from our school. Yeah, the irony, I know. Be respectful of the students from the other schools who lost and don't do anything silly or wild. First years who aren't watching the lines, cheer them on. You're dismissed. I feel so bad for Yaguchi. I bet he's gonna lose. What's wrong, Yaguchi? Did you twist it? No, it's fine. Well, don't push it. You're playing Komatsu. Remember, second place still gets you into the prefecture tournament. Komatsu, go for it. Yo, he looks scary. He looks fucking scary. I don't like Yaguchi. He's too cocky. Swat him like a fly. He's not cocky, you're just projecting. Pumpun decided he wouldn't watch the match after all. He'd go home, eat a choco pie, and go to bed instead. Shut up. Why are you bringing up all that negative stuff right before my match? I want a noble win, devoid of useless emotion. Huh? What the hell was that? Whatever. I really don't care who wins. Maybe I'll just go home. Pussy, pussy. Pussy. And she's here. It's Aiko. She's looking at me. The final match for boys singles is starting. Athletes to the center of the court. And again, this figure. God damn. First set. Love all play. Pumpun. Couldn't move a muscle for some reason. He had never stared into Aiko's eyes for so long before. He wondered how he was reflected in her wide, gorgeous eyes. She's still looking this way. She's definitely looking. She's totally looking. Pumpun wanted to run away. But it was all he could do to keep his knees from shaking in front of Aiko, who seemed to have something she wanted to tell him. Pumpun was powerless. Whoa, if you keep looking at me like that, maybe I'll clean out your wide, gorgeous eyes. Wait, what? You'll what? You will what? And drop a gentle smooch on your lips. With everything that was careening through his mind, was ready to explode. Pumpun was ready to explode. Raw. Hey, it's Tanaka and Numata. What are you two doing here? Just in the nick of time. Why Aiko looks like that Supreme Drip meme with this. Stop it. Actually, Pumpun was showing off how in control he was. Way to go, Pumpun. Oh, right, I get it, and that's what's going on. You're here to watch Yaguchi, right? I think the match has already started. She's kind of pouting, isn't she? If I win, then Aiko is mine for life. Pumpun wouldn't really have minded if Mount Fuji had erupted right then. Yaguchi, my boy. Good. Whoa, Yaguchi's in the lead. He's actually taken the first set. I thought for sure Yaguchi would get destroyed. Oh, sorry. Look at Komatsu. Good, you deserve that. You were cocky as fuck. What? There. Humble yourself, boy. And Yaguchi's even playing with a twisted ankle. So he's doing, like, he's giving his all. Wonk. Whack. Wonk. Mamoru, go for it! Is that Yaguchi's mom? Second year getting laid left and right, Wait, what? Second year getting laid left and right? Hung like a monster, mushroom mama's boy? I hate these people. Why are kids so mean? Kids are so mean. Well, whatever. Pussy. What the fuck? Clean your mouth. The words you're using, boy. That's... Pumpun suddenly had a really bad feeling. Maybe his life, now and forever, would never turn out the way he wanted. Wink. Gulp. Hey, linesman. What's your call? In or out? Yaguchi was going to win one way or another. He'd smooch with Aiko on the bus home, and then, depending on how things went, they'd head to his room and have sex and all that. That's so... The way these kids think about other kids, it's so disgusting. Shup. What? In? Were you even paying attention? Komatsu, it's pathetic to be that obsessed with winning. That's right, if he was going to be this pathetic about it, Punpun should never have agreed to the wager. It's absurd that a ludicrous, mistake by an empty-headed idiot like you is influencing the outcome of my beautiful win. It was out. I was watching, it was close, but it's out, and Komatsu gets the point. Let's play fair. Such a good guy. He's such a good guy. This series doesn't deserve Yaguchi. No one here deserves Yaguchi. Yeah, years from now, the always cool and correct Yaguchi will turn to Aiko on the eve of their wedding and say, when we were in middle school, I made a bet on a match with you as the prize. Then, yeah, I hope she doesn't say that. I wonder what would have happened if I'd lost that day. Haha. Do you remember the guy? His name was Onodera. I don't think he would say that on his wedding day. Why would he mention another guy? I don't care if you forget me. I'm just a garnish to your for your lives. Please don't add a plot twist to Yaguchi. Yeah, please don't. Sadness filled him. When I get home, I'm going to cry a lot, Punpun thought. Hey, what do you think about people falling in love and dating? I think if you already have a loving family, wanting more love is just greedy. No, it's not. But that just shows how depraved she is of actual love. In her home, for example. Poor girl. Even if you become boyfriend and girlfriend, no matter how much you love each other, you'll never be anything more than outsiders to each other, no? I don't want that. I want someone to give up everything and just see me. Yaguchi's a really good guy. He's kind, considerate, and cool. But he has lots of places to run away to. She's a little problematic. Okay. So she doesn't want a guy who is complete, you know, and who's still choosing her to live for and be in love with. She wants a guy who has no escape route, who has no other choice but to cling to her, because she's the only thing that's giving him stability. Everything else in his life is just missing. I don't think Yaguchi should be with someone like her. He deserves someone who is like him, who will think like him, have the same values like him, who will expect and give the same thing. This is not a good combination. But he has lots of places to run away to. I think, even if I weren't here, he'd be happy by himself. You don't know him. You obviously don't know him. All he wants is to keep sadness away from you. And why are you holding Punpun's hand? She wants someone who's as broken as her. That's not good. I don't see a future for these two. I don't see a good future for these two. You should see Yaguchi as someone who's gonna heal you, perhaps, or help you heal yourself, and start to expect more from life and work at yourself. This is really bad because the way Yaguchi thinks of her is so precious. And she's throwing it away because she sees he's good at other things. And other people like him. Even if I weren't here, he'd be happy by himself. Eventually, I'd be all alone again. Yeah, she has issues. Do you understand how I feel, Pumpum? So even if Yaguchi wins, Aiko is gonna leave him for Pumpum. Eventually, I'd be all alone again. Do you understand how I feel, Pumpum? Understand? The warmth of Aiko's hand had inadvertently caused Pumpum to become very excited. I don't think she's manipulative. I wouldn't call that manipulation. She's just really broken. And that's it. And she's telling him about it. And he's getting excited over it. Like, yeah, this girl is choosing me over Yaguchi. I'm gonna go home with Aiko and have sex with her or something like that. It's fucked up. Yaguchi doesn't deserve this. Very excited. Pumpun, do you think you could give up your family, your dreams, and everything you own for the person you love? Just kidding. I know you can't, Pumpun. You're a coward. But I know I could do it. For someone I really love, I could do anything. Girl. You know, I have the same dream over and over. I dreamed that I'm waiting for someone for a long time. In the dark, on a beach, I'm waiting for someone for years and decades. But then at some point, I noticed that someone is staring at me. It's a middle-aged woman I've never seen before, but I'm so happy to see her that I pull my feet out of the sand and run over to her. But when I get there, it's just my own reflection in the water. I get really sad, and then I wake up. When I think about how we're alone like that when we die, I feel very dark. I think you need therapy. Do you remember the essays we wrote in elementary school? I wrote that I wanted to be an actress, a singer, or a model when I grew up. I think I wanted lots of people to know who I was. That's not true anymore. Now I just want one. I want one person who knows me from the top of my head to the tips of my toes, without a millimeter of misunderstanding. I want that perfect comprehension. I don't want anything else. If I can just be with that one person. That's heartbreaking. But I understand. She is also a victim of her own circumstances. It's really sad that there are children out there thinking like her. If that dream came true, I'd be okay dying right then and there. Ow. Ah, his poor ankle. What? Yaguchi, are you alright? Oh no, Komatsu is slowly approaching with the points, but he could still win. But even if he wins, he won't win Aiko. I hope he wins, just so he can keep, playing badminton and not give it up. But he shouldn't expect Aiko. You're favoring your right leg. Don't push yourself if you're not 100%. Even if you lose this match, you're guaranteed a slot in the prefecture tournament. But if you get hurt, it'll all be for nothing. Oh, Yaguchi is losing his lead. No, I'm fine. He called me yesterday. He said he had something important to tell me after the match, so he wanted to make sure I came. I wasn't sure what was going on, but I didn't like how he was getting all worked up. So I said to him, "You don't need to go to the game, just run away with me." He laughed and said, "What are you talking about?" And that's when I finally knew. Aiko, what are you muttering about over there? Pay attention, this is a great match. Shut the fuck up. We live in completely different worlds. He's doing that all for you and you're just saying, it's me or the game. But he's like putting the game and you first. Yeah, miscommunication. Very incomplete comprehension. I live in completely different worlds. What is she trying to tell Punpun, hey, this is what I want and expect from you. Are you gonna give it to me or not? So Punpun now has the choice. If she wants Aiko, she declared what she wants and expects from him if he were to take over for Yaguchi. They're both cursing each other. That's not good. That's not good. So Aiko. Do you think that's weird? So Aiko wants... No. You understand, right, Punpun? Yeah, she wants him to run away with her. Remembering that day. She's like, I'm testing you again. You failed once, but I'm giving you another chance. Would you do that? If you say yes now and do it now, I'll forgive you. I know you're a coward. You know I'm a coward. We're both perfect for each other. That day in front of town hall, with her bag slung over her shoulder full of things for Kagoshima, is she still waiting for someone to come get her? Imagine living in such a bad household to want to run away and still keeping that wish throughout all these years. It doesn't get better, you still want to run away. Dear God, Tinkahoy. And that's the chant that makes God appear. If I squeeze Aiko's... Oh, oopsie. But there was no need to chant it anymore. Now he just turned up. Yo. If I squeeze Aiko's hand right now. Yo. She might forgive me for not keeping my promise back then. Here. Actually, she might let me smooch her. Or even let me see, you know, inside her underwear. Aiko, you poor girl, you shouldn't expect anything from pubescent boys. Don't... She's opening up her entire heart and soul to Punpun, and he's like, well, if I say yes, maybe I can fuck her. She might tell me she loves me again. But here's the thing, Punpun had a bet, or promise, or whatever it was with Yaguchi, and to ignore that and make a move on Aiko now would make Punpun a snake. It was nothing, if not logical. Hey, Punpun, maybe it's time to stop playing at being a good person. Yes, he may be right. You're just going to end up dead or in jail if you treat life like an endurance test and try to bottle up the haze of your wrath and lust inside your head, you know? Punpun felt something dark and heavy in his heart. So he has a conscience, but he's like, yeah, I'm actually fucking bad. I can just fucking admit it and live it. So why fight your desires? The darkness that was spreading so quickly was a powerful sensation Punpun had never encountered before. Just descend as deep as you can go. It felt like he was floating aimlessly in space. Despair, loneliness, ecstasy. Did you just hear something funny? Oh, he fell. Yaguchi, he may be... Oh, that's never a good thing. He may have to give up badminton or sports in general because of that dumb ankle that he didn't get treated. And that he abused so much during this match. Fuck. Like, even if he wins now, he may never... Even if he wins now, he's not gonna keep Aiko, and he may not keep badminton either. He's ruining himself. How long have I been streaming? Just one more chapter. I just need to see one more chapter to see what's happening with Yaguchi and Punpun. No, my boy! No! I wanna hug him! Hey, Punpun, let's go see what happened. Hurry up. Is he running away now? In her eyes, is he running away from her now? You're in Punpun's shoe. Would you accept Aiko, though? No. If I was in Punpun's shoes, if I was Punpun, basically, just drowning in loneliness, despair, and ecstasy, as he said. Yeah, maybe. But if I was in a position where someone like Aiko said all those things, no, I would try to help them in a different way. Not make them dependent on another person. Make them try to heal and grow. Because happiness, I think you can't achieve with the help of someone else. I think you yourself need to be happy with yourself, because who are you going to live with for the rest of your life? It's you. So you gotta be... You're your closest neighbor, basically. Even if you're all alone, you're all you're left with. So you better be good to yourself. You better appreciate yourself. So to learn that thing, to learn to accept yourself and love the process of getting better. You don't need to love yourself. I don't know if that's ever possible for anyone to love themselves. I think you can be able to love the process of becoming better, to getting closer to who you want to be. And that type of thing. So I would want her to become that person that's already happy with herself. And then other people can just bring their own happiness and add to her happiness. But if they leave, or when they leave, it's not like happiness leaves you, because you already intrinsically, you have that happiness. And other people with their happiness, they can just add to you. Like there is a net sum of happiness already in you, and you can always add or subtract people with their happiness to you. The amount of happiness you already have in yourself is always going to stay the same. And happiness, myself, maybe that's not the right word. I wouldn't say happiness is like a state of being. You need to be content with yourself, right? You need to be content with life, with yourself. Happiness are just spikes of moods that come in between. You're like this all the time, like a stagnant type of being content with your life, and then sometimes there's spikes of happiness and sometimes there's dips of sadness. But it's okay, because they can cancel each other out, these spikes and dips, because the overall flat line of being content is still there. So I'd want her to become such a person, to not be dependent on other people, even if it's just one other person that she's looking for, to not be dependent on them for her own happiness. I would want her to achieve that, and in the process, not be attached to me in that way and associate me with happiness and with that process. That's an important aspect to helping someone help themselves. That they don't associate you with getting better and needing you there so they can get better and be happy and be content with themselves and healthy. So that's what I would do if I was in a situation like Pumpun. But if I was Pumpun, yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, sure, now show me coochie. I don't know. I don't understand this child. I mean, I understand him because, as I said, he's a child going through puberty. He's also a coward. He's also a snake, like he said. I would probably say yes if I was Pumpun. I don't know. Let's see what happens. And now reading the comments on the YouTube chat. I love the font style Pumpun has. Yeah. You can kind of imagine them laid out on the actual environment within the panels. Diegetic, so to speak. Happiness, I think, shouldn't be anchored on a single entity. Yeah. A catalyst for happiness, I believe, shouldn't be sourced from something. Contentment with what is. Yeah. Hope that things will be better. Faith that even if hope doesn't appear tangible, things will still be okay. Yeah. I agree. Because there's always people saying, like, how can I be happy? Like, what's the meaning to life? How can I achieve happiness? No, the meaning of life is living. And the process of trying to achieve whatever goals you have, that should make you happy already with yourself. And that should give you strength. You should derive strength from who you are trying to become. And the visions you have for yourself, the hope you have for yourself. And that should be a lead in your life. But it's easy for someone like me to say that because I used to have depression. And I think Aiko has depression, to be quite frank. I'm not a psychologist. I can't analyze a fictional character with anything. But I think she has depression. And when you're depressed, and I'm speaking from experience, you can't think like that. You don't see it that way. People can tell you that all they want, but it's like words just, I don't know, just hitting a wall. You can still understand the words, cognitively, you understand what they're saying, and logically speaking, yeah, that makes sense, and you want to do that, but depression is like a constant downward spiral. Let's say you're in a well. You're in a well, and you can't get out. You can see the light, and you can say, yeah, that's there, but you can't get out. You only see yourself trapped. Nothing can come in, and nothing can go out. And the only thing you see is yourself in this well. You are basically looking at the world, at this light. You're looking like this, hoping there's like an outside that you can reach, but you're down there in the darkness. You just see yourself. You don't even see yourself. You just see darkness surrounding you. A wall surrounding you. And there's always a possibility to go down further, but not up. It's like a downward spiral where you only see yourself. And that's a problem. Maybe I can show it as a sketch to make more sense of what I'm saying. Oh, god damn it. Do I even have pens? Okay. I have an empty page. So, this is you on depression. I'm gonna take another pen. And this is what I'm gonna call it. This is you, this black dot, in the center of this page. And what you see, you just have a view of the world around you. This is you looking at the world around you. And how I see myself now is basically This is me, right? And this is the world around me. And I can pick to be outside and look at myself and the world around me. And this is the big difference. I can look at myself, I can look at the world around me, I can look from the perspective of someone who is outside of myself. And I can be as kind and as critical to myself as I would be to any of the other dots, any of the other members of the world. I can see myself as just someone who's on the same boat as other people. We're all on the same boat. Floating through space, basically, sharing fates, and now the lighting is kind of weird. The hell. I don't need to be... I don't need to focus just on myself. You know, this is the thing when you're depressed, the only focus you have is yourself. Because that's the only thing you're occupied with. You're looking at the world as something that is outside of you instead of something that you are part of. The world can be a threat to you. Maybe there's someone outside who will help you inside of this world. And that's how you see it. But ultimately, you're in the middle of a dangerous place, like a place that is hostile towards you, and you're all alone, and you're fending for yourself. But here, here, you're just one of many. You are, fuck me, I can't. You here. You are all of these people. You're all of them. You're someone's child. You're someone's potential mother. You're someone's potential lover. You're someone who has helped someone else. You are someone who has walked a dog, someone who is a pet owner. You're someone who has eaten a sandwich. And everyone is like that. And why would you be so cruel to yourself only, but be so lenient towards other people? If other people can be happy when they're in the same world, they're born in the same world as me, other people can be happy, then I can be happy. I also have 2 arms that I can use to build my own life. I have the same condition as everyone else. I am born with the same set of tools that I can use if I just find the right way. I didn't have the right way to use the same tools that everyone is born with already. But, you know, changing the perspective, like maybe the perspective change came with the psychological change, or after it. I don't know which one came first. But when I'm fine, this is how I see myself, you know, with the many dots. As part of the world, as not in any way different or special than anyone else. Why would I despair over something when I'm going through life just like everyone else? Like, why would I punish myself when others aren't doing the same thing? Why would I see myself, why would I treat myself in such a special way? Am I special? Am I so special, so different, such a new creature, such a wondrous existence that I need to treat myself in a different way than I would treat other people? Why, when someone makes an unfunny joke and no one laughs, it's okay with me that happened and I forget about it? They're still a fun person. Just that one joke didn't sit well, and that's okay, that happens. And no one's gonna think about that anymore. you're still a friend to me or a good person. It doesn't make you less of a good person just because one joke fell kind of flat. Why would I be so lenient towards someone like that? But if I did the same thing, I would beat myself up over it. Am I so special that I need this special treatment? Why am I putting myself into this downward spiral, basically? When I don't need to. I don't put others through the same shit that I put myself through. I'm not special. I should treat myself the same way that I treat others. And as I said, I'm the only person that I'm gonna live with for the rest of my life. I'm with me all the time. So I better make sure that I can stand this person that I am. It's always good to be self-critical, yes. But also, critical towards the world, true. But you shouldn't treat yourself with so much criticism that you lose yourself, basically. You lose yourself, you're in a well. And it's just darkness around you and a wall that you cannot climb. And that's bad. Once you're outside of that well, and you're on a meadow, let's say, or in a forest, or in a town square, you're looking down that well and you're seeing yourself and you're saying, I'm gonna take care of you. You can stay there, you're gonna be safe there, and I'm gonna live outside. I'm gonna come, make sure that you're fine, I'm gonna bring you food. I can even bring a rope if you wanna and pull you out. And we can walk through the streets, on this meadow, through the forest. We can walk together. Because I am seeing a pretty sky, I'm seeing a lot of people, I'm seeing flowers, I'm smelling trees. I'm seeing so much more than you see when you're down in that well. Here, I am part of the world. You, down there, you are isolating yourself from it. And I can bring you out and make you see what I see, basically. So, as I said, it's hard to see the world and life like this when you're not in that condition, as I said. So I don't think Aiko can properly think. Of course, she's a child. First of all, she doesn't have the cognitive tools yet. She's depressed, so making her be content with herself is a hard thing to do. It has to come from within her. It does. No one else can give you that rope to pull you out of that well. It has to be you. No one else can do that. You're the only one with that rope. You are really the only one who can help yourself. It needs to come from inside that switch. Everyone else, they can shout at you and give you life advice, they can give you pamphlets, they can give you all the messages and motivational speaking that they want. It can't reach you. It has to come from within you. Saving yourself needs to come from within you. You need to be the one with the rope. And yeah, and it helps with the perspective change where you see yourself as I said, part of the world. You're just like everyone else. You're nothing special. You're not the greatest misfortune this world has been disgraced with. You haven't smeared the world with your presence. You're just someone. You're just a girl here, let's say in Austria. No one even notices you, right? And that should be comforting. Let me read the comments. I'm sorry, that was a long-ass tangent. I don't even know where I went with that. How did we come to this topic? Elder, are you ascending? No. That reminds me of Batman Begins quote, "Why do we fall, sir? So that we can learn to pick ourselves up." Let me read the YouTube comments. Sorry about that. Uppa. I don't know if everyone will agree with this, but I have found more happiness by stopping myself from looking for it. Yeah. You should stop expecting so much from the world. The world is neither here to help you nor to crush you. It's just here. And you are in it. Be prepared for everything, but do not expect anything. So, why is the lighting so different now, though? Can it go back to being normal? It's okay, now you can at least see the contrast between my body, like the shirt, and my chair. That's a good thing, perhaps. But I do look pasty. I do look kind of overexposed right now. Okay. But yeah. It's basically accepting what the world is. That the world just is. It doesn't hand you shit. It doesn't take shit from you. But it's not your enemy. It's not your friend. It's just a plane that you walk. So you build things. You build your life. You know everything, like all the experiences you have. It's like Lego blocks. You're building yourself, your own life. And it's not that you're handed things or taken away things. The world, as I said, is just a plane that you walk and that you put things on and build. You cannot find happiness, extract happiness from places. You build happiness. And that's how I think, at least. Rather, it's gotten easier when every day has turned into a search for purpose and meaning rather than happiness. Yeah, because I think in our desperation, sometimes we can swap and misinterpret pleasure for happiness. Yeah. So when the lines blur, then we often, I believe, head towards the easier, tangible one. Yeah. It's when we're crippled by our choices. Do we see that it was the pleasurable choice or not the happy one? And not the happy one. Yeah, that's how it already does. Your example makes sense. Proper detachment from self. Quotable quotes from some European chick. Hello. Hi. Wow, you all tuned in at the right time, huh? When I went on an existential tangent. I relate so much to what you described. It's been a few years like that. Never talked with a specialist. Thought I'm just lazy, unmotivated. Maybe should check my head. Yeah. I would say therapy is something that everyone should do. Whether you suspect there's something wrong with you or not, do it. Do it. Especially if you're struggling with something. I'm not struggling with depression, but I'm struggling with other things. And I'm getting that specialist to help me with that, because why should I put myself through a struggle when there's the possibility of not going through that struggle? Just that possibility alone is enough to motivate me to do better, to work on myself, by having someone who can give me, the tools to better myself. I can be like, hey, not give me the tools, but like, hey, you have these and these tools, now you use them like this and this. It's like learning to draw. Like, maybe you can do that by yourself, but it's always easier when you have a teacher and be like, okay, but now this is perspective and this is, anatomy and so on and so forth. So I just see it as an assistance. They know things that I don't. And if I couldn't help myself so far with the struggle that I'm going through, then there's nothing wrong with having someone who can assist me with that. So yeah, definitely, if you're feeling unmotivated or I don't know, food doesn't taste like anything, or you're stress eating but you don't know why, or let's say you're a girl and you don't have a period for months and you're like, but why? I'm so chill. Nah, there's probably some stress going on that you're just not registering because you're there's something disconnecting inside of you. You gotta take care of that. Even if you think you're like fine, but it's just, lack of concentration or whatever, take care of it. Take care of yourself. I like these tangents. They're quite unexpected where they go. Sometimes they can get extended much, but more often than not, they actually expound on the reading experience. Okay, I'm glad if you see it that way. That makes sense, but I guess it comes down to personal problems. Well, society doesn't treat people the same. I mean, that is true, yeah. Society is a whole different can of worms. Some people are addicted to be depressed. It's some sort of mental condition. Yeah, it is. Unfortunately. Michael Sergio said something about this, that our personal laws should be conducive to all persons today, to our ancestors, to those yet to be born. That should be our baseline for existence. That is nice. I agree with that. Depression is the easy way out because it takes courage to confront the crucibles ahead of us. Yes, and not everyone has that courage, and we shouldn't expect depressed people to have that courage. It needs to be built up from inside, and yeah, they need to come to that conclusion themselves. Like, it's one thing understanding it, and one thing just having that understanding seep through every part of your being, and you coming to really understand it, to really comprehend it. To really comprehend something is to live it. So yeah. Categorical imperative. And that's why I think it can be very addictive. Can't, yes. Sometimes the ropes are already there. We just shun from it. The pull should be ours. That's our responsibility. Yeah. I agree. The only one that can truly help you is yourself. It takes both humility and courage to get out of depression. Yeah. Wisdom. Yeah. You look glowing. Oh, shit. What's wrong? Oh, it looks a little more normal. Oh no. Is it? Oh my god. Sometimes, now I wonder, can people really be happy? Maybe suffering is the only real feeling, and the happiness is either self-deceit or ignorance. Now that sounds like depression, like how depressive people think, because yes, you can be happy. Sometimes when I get my food delivered, and I don't have an appetite, I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. Sometimes when I get food delivered, I take that package and I start giggling and go to the kitchen and open the package, and I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna eat this now. If that isn't a spike in mood, if that isn't happiness, I don't know what is. Sometimes when I see an update to a manga that I'm reading, for example, I get giddy and I'm happy. I know that I'm happy because I feel it in my entire body. It's like a ripple. So yes, it exists. Happiness does exist, but it is a momentary spike in your mood. And other than that, you need to be content, as I said. It's not something that you feel actively. It's just a general mood that is always there. And as long as that mood is not like a substance, a thick substance that is keeping you from moving and that is making everything bleak for you, then that's a good mood. If that mood is like a thick substance, keeping you glued to it, and you feel kind of immobile, then that is a sign that you should seek therapy. And that is a sign of depression. So, maybe not depression, but something else. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist, but I'll get that checked. Of course, it's easy for me. Another thing that's easy for me to say, but hard for others to do. I live in a country where the healthcare system allows for me to have that help, have that assistance in the form of specialists that I can seek out and that will help me with my tools. And others in other countries, they need some financial basis first so that they can seek out that help. And if they don't, they can get into circles that are not healthy for them at all. So, like circles that are free, for example, internet forums or whatever. And those are never a good option. No. They're only going to keep you chained to your current state of being and maybe even drag you down another path that you didn't even know you could walk. So this is, as I said, another thing that I can say easily as someone who's like in Austria, and I can seek out a specialist for free. Other countries where you either don't have these specialists, or like there is a taboo for going to search out specialists and take care of yourself that way, or you need money to have that type of freedom. Yeah, it's hard. Even when you know what you need to do to help yourself, it's sometimes hard to get to that help. So yeah, that's another privilege that I'm speaking from. Nestle Acetate, Nietzsche would like a conversation with you. What's happening is just chemistry reactions. I mean, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're not precious. These just chemical reactions in your brain. That doesn't mean they're any less precious or more precious than anything else. Than this bottle of loving lavender pillow mist. Like, not any less or more valuable, and that in itself shows that it is part of this world, of this mechanism in this universe. You're a part of this universe. You're neither less valuable nor more valuable than anyone else. Because if happiness would be possible, people would not evolve and develop. Suffering drives us to change. No, I disagree. I mean, suffering is always going to be subjective, because maybe you thought being a slave in ancient Mesopotamia is suffering. And being able to have your own home, a buchta plushie, an education, like, that is not suffering. That is what a slave from ancient Mesopotamia would say, yeah, that is fucking happiness. I want to have that. But then you see, like, the other living conditions, for example, you must have a job. You must slave away at your job. Like, it's either have a job or fucking die. Even though, you know, territories, they're just pieces of the earth that someone else claimed and that someone else is selling you in some type of way. You gotta contribute. Then there is the technological advancement. If you don't have a laptop, if you don't have internet, you're not gonna find a job. If you don't have an address, you're not gonna find a job. If you don't have... There are so many other conditions and preconditions that you need to fulfill in order to navigate life in our time. And that can cause suffering too. That's what the slave from ancient Mesopotamia would not think of at that moment. They would just see a type of freedom and say, that's more freedom than I have. I want that. That's happiness. So there's always things that can be made better with effort. There's always things that are going to be like, yeah, okay, we gained this, but we had to give up this in exchange. Can we find a solution for society to make that a little more balanced? You know, that we don't have to give up so much just to be able to live. And when I say live, I mean occupying space on this earth. You have a right to do that. You have a right to live. Once you're born, you have a right to live. and to enjoy that experience. That is a fundamental right. While you're already here, you have a right to enjoy yourself. So can we make that more attainable for other people without giving up so much? Without being that, that happiness being attainable for some people, but on the backs of other people. Can we do that? Can we work towards that? So betterment is always a good thing, like seeking out improvement. It doesn't mean that all life is suffering. It just means we have a mathematical problem and now we need to solve it. How can we solve it? Basically like this. It's a problem that you want to solve. It doesn't mean all life is suffering, and if there wasn't any suffering, there wouldn't be life. No, I think the suffering is born through failed efforts, or just efforts in general that may have failed or may fail, to make life better for everyone. To make the experience of being on this planet pay off for everyone. To not regret being here. Because this is the only chance you get at life. So make it worthwhile for everyone. And I think this collective effort to try to make it better for everyone, I think that's beautiful. I think that means that we're acknowledging that we're all in the same boat. If I'm suffering, you're suffering. If you're suffering, I'm suffering. I see myself in everyone, in every creature of this planet. This could be me. This could be me. If I was in that situation, would I want someone to make it easier for me or not? Yes. So I'm going to be that person to this me here suffering. Because that could be me. Could be me from another life, from the future, from the past, whatever. I don't know, maybe that's what my mom went through. And I love my mom and I wish she hadn't gone through that, so I'm gonna help this person because they're my mom. And if I was in the same situation as my mom, those 30 years ago, under the same conditions, I would have gone through the same thing, so I am my mom, and I am helping this person that is my mom, so that person is me, basically. I think that's a beautiful sign when you even when you have it better than other people, let's say, and you're still trying to make life better for them too, because you could just fucking ignore them. You have it well. You could just work towards making things better for you only. But I think a collective effort of trying to make this entire living experience worth for more people, the more the better. Because that could be you. And why would you only have a good life when other people could have the same life too? This type of empathy, this type of shared experience, even though you're not experiencing the same thing, I think it's a sign that there is something nice in the world. There are individuals, most especially those who fall along the edges of society, who often may display more happiness than those within. Yeah, peace. Yeah, you need to be at peace with yourself. Oppa. Ooh, did we hear my stomach? I'm hungry again. Wah. I missed so much of the chat. There's so much going on in the chat. Game of dopamine, serotonin, and oxytocin, yeah. Farmers, fishermen, even low-level workers who have terrible days, but still, when asked, can express great happiness from their way of approaching life. Yes. Yes. I agree with that. So, you need to get past the material things, like the material conditions. I mean, the material conditions are absolutely fucking important to your existence. They're basically the guarantee that you can continue existing, but they shouldn't be your source of happiness. That's what I mean. So money is absolutely important, unfortunately, to survive in this world, but it's only there for their survival. You shouldn't make money your source of happiness, for example. It sounds really pretentious, but you know what I mean. The chemicals are accurate, although speaking in chemical terms may not be the best approach, and I am neither a psychologist nor a psychiatrist. Yeah, I can't allow therapy at the moment, so I never considered it. Too bad. A software engineer here in the Philippines earns 21,000 Philippine whatever per month. That's already a good salary. Psychiatrists or similar specialists cost 2,000 to 7,000. People I know who can have specialists either come from affluence or because their parents are middle class but are friends with such specialists. And see, this is a societal problem where you would want to solve this problem, because why should just people who have money have their right, like their rights exercised? Everyone has the same rights. As soon as you're born, everyone has the same rights. Now, why are unnatural societal constructs that just everyone agrees to follow, but that are to my detriment, why should that still exist? Why, if a societal construct that is more of a challenge to your continuing to exist, why should that continue existing? If there is weed growing in my garden, and I think that's bad, I'm gonna get rid of the weed to have a nice garden. Even though weed, like, I should have chosen a better example. Let's say you have a tick somewhere attached on your body, and you know that's bad. That's also a bad example, because if you try to pluck it out, it's gonna vomit, and that's what causes diseases. Do I have an example that's better? If there's something bad, for example, okay, let's say, easy one. If there is like an eyeliner line in the middle of my cheek instead of on my eye, then I better take something to wipe it off, right? If I'm not satisfied with that line in the middle of my cheek, I'm gonna wipe that away. And that's what I think we should do with societal constructs too. If they're in the way of my existing peacefully on this earth, then fucking get rid of them. They only work because everyone agrees it exists. Money, if you look at it, is actually just paper, and that's what it used to be. Now it's just binary codes on a server somewhere. It's just because we assign meaning and value to these codes that we can still operate with them. If everyone started saying, nah, this actually doesn't fucking mean anything to me, and that's nothing to me, I only take currency in snails, then you're fucked. Things only matter as long as people say, all collectively agree they matter. So why would you keep an agreement about an institution or, as I said, any type of societal construct that is to your detriment, that is in the way of you achieving things? So yeah, just my 2 cents. It shouldn't be on just the rich people to be allowed to exercise their, God-given rights. Look, I think I know where all the rise of depression comes from. 350 years, yeah. Millennials were raised to believe they're specials, and once they had to go outside to the world as responsible adults, this was incompatible with their reality as children. I completely fucking disagree, but that's your view. And also, it's not just that I disagree, like, there's hard data to disprove that, and studies that also show that this is that's a weird hypothesis, but the hypothesis is disproven. That's just your view. That's not truth. That is a very American perspective. Yeah, agreed. As far as I have learned, the British and Japanese culture seem to go against that. They have the principle of long reads. Anyone who is a long read is stumped down during their youth and encourage uniformity. So the sense of specialness is not existence, as far as I know, in some countries. And lots of them try to cope with not being special. Nah. That's just a very, very conservative look at it all. that doesn't take anything that's going on in the world into account, nor how people are raised, nor how people interact with the world, in my opinion. Panagiotis 1990. That's just my opinion. Yeah, not sure what it is, but something about modern life destroys us. Both mental and physical health statistics are at the decline. Look, I'm gonna tell you something. Suicide rates, basically a symptom of depression, for example, or how non-navigating people are with their lives. Like, the suicide, you would say, is a very hard way out. Like, you gotta be really at the bottom to pick suicide, right? It tells you something about the condition of a country. When you look at the suicide rate, or where and how suicides happen among which type of population, it tells you a lot about the society. Durkheim. And if you look at suicide statistics, because depression statistics, that's harder to get data on. But let's just say suicide statistics, and you say millennials, I would say that's a very Western way of thinking, like a Western way of categorizing generations of people. Born in a specific time in history and under specific conditions in specific societies. Like, would you call someone in Ghana a millennial when they're living a completely different life than you are, for example? Or take Yemen. Would you call a child like that a millennial? Child, I mean, they're adults now. Would you call them millennials? No. And if you look at suicide rates, they're not higher in rich countries that are so developed but have these different ways of living that people need to navigate in modernity. No. Suicide rates, alcoholism rates, they're higher in poorer countries. Would you say they're just so dissatisfied in life because they were born thinking they're special, but once they got outside, they realize they're not that special, and then they take their own lives? Would you say that about poor countries, war-torn countries? No, because the statistics speak against it. It's really that just poor conditions, poor material conditions provided by a government to its people, those are deciding factors for, these types of rates and how people live. Nietzsche loves Madara. I think having knowledge that you're special isn't the problem. I think the problem is that it's singular in dimension. I'm special and must receive more. And it's not I'm special and I must work more. Yeah, America suffers from main character syndrome more than anyone, and it shows, but that propaganda was all over the West. Yeah, I mean, I don't like America at all. But not because of the people. It's because of their entire political, social, economic structure and what these people in power are doing. Basically just using their own people as a stage to prop themselves up and dance on while they're trampling their own people. But hey, at least they look cool dancing there. And maybe you can be up there dancing with them. And that's a mental trap I just cannot get behind. Like, how can you see suffering and say, yeah, but maybe I'm gonna be the one that's causing all the suffering one day. So hey, I just have to work hard, what did I say? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps or something like that. Very toxic way of thinking, just perpetuating the cycle of suffering and making it worse. Because the longer it persists, the worse it gets. I definitely agree. Sadly, globalism has encouraged such a perspective to slowly seep its way into the minds of other children from other countries. And so by that point, I believe children should have a limited access to the global world. And I don't think so, as much as possible, so that their eyes are focused on what is real until they are mature enough. I mean, I do think that children shouldn't have access, like unsupervised access to the internet and to all parts of the internet. That definitely needs to be, there shouldn't be any fucking private companies on the internet. Facebook shouldn't be a fucking private company. It should be a public entity. It should be publicly owned. Because that shit, for example, is just undermining democracy. But lobbying is doing that too. Globalism is only a problem because we're bringing this culture that I described, the economic, political, and social systems, and forcing them on other countries, on other cultures. They need to give up their way of living, adopt our way of living that is basically, as I said, perpetuating the suffering. And now this is a global type of suffering. One country alone cannot change. It needs to be a collective effort by the entire fucking globe now. Like, the entire globe needs to disavow what is happening politically, socially, economically, and environmentally. That's also important. Environmentally. You need to disavow, especially these powerful countries that are basically forcing that on everyone else. You just need to say, hey, why the fuck are they more powerful? I mean, we know. But you need to say, it's enough. Like, if you want to keep the system up in your country, do that. But no one else should need to follow. Unfortunately, due to the global connection, you're supposed to. So it should be a collective effort, again, to solve this problem. I guess millennials and zoomers were in a very rude awakening, and as the current standard of modern life declines, they get depressed while trying to survive in a world that is different. That is true, yeah, I can get behind that from what they were told. Yeah, but if we take statistics from the same country over decades, yeah, do that. I don't know what the point now is. We lost. I'm too slow with the chat. I'm sorry. And this, this tangent is so fucking long. I'm gonna have to put a pinned comment again in YouTube to just skip this tangent so we can. Actually, let's not. This is gonna have been the last chapter, chapter 42, and chapter 43 we're gonna read next time. Sorry for the long ass tangent. I'm also referring to Europe, West, and 90s to 2000s. It was time when AAA economy was more stable and globalism was making the first steps, but life is different on other countries. And I guess I should be more grateful for living in a moderately decent country. Yeah, cue the Evangelion ending. Anyway, sorry about that. That was a long-ass tangent. We talked about so many things. I mean, they're important things, I think. I think they're important things to discuss and talk about, or listen to someone talk about. But we completely strayed from the manga. Anyway, this is it for today. I'm gonna put a pinned comment and say where the stream ends, like where the reading ends, and then where just the rant comes in. If people want to watch that, they can do that, but they should just know that the reading ends here at this mark. Tangent, reading chat, tangent again, read chat, tangent, read chat. It's going to be an infinity loop. Yeah. Again, sorry about that. And now, after a little break, I'm gonna come back with Dorohedoro, okay? So that's gonna be fun. Like, actually fun. So, yeah. Have a nice day, evening, or night, wherever you are. Bye-bye.